وما أرسلناك إلا رحمة للعالمين.
محمد الأمين نفديك بالثمين، محمد الأمين نفديك بالثمين، يا مصطفى يا مجتبى يا أزهر الجبين.
After 9/11, as I said, twice as many people as before are coming to Islam, in general on their own. What a sad indictment for Muslims, that we have no say in it and people are joining us. And then, out of that, maybe as many as 3 times women as men are coming to Islam. In this country, after the age of 12, there is no education for females, Islamic education for females. When they're going from girlhood to adult womanhood, there's no Islamic education. What's going on here? Am I wrong? Am I making it up? Am I telling you lies? And why is it that girls in this country, Muslim girls in this country, are performing better than boys? Is it because the girls aren't playing football and the boys are football mad? They're wasting their time? Idle pursuits? We've got a long way to go. And I think, myself, that the real solution to our problems is that the mosque has to become the focus of attention for our communities. I'm not sure that it is in all cases, and I'm not sure if we would all talk the same language as what do we mean by the mosque being the focus of attention. The kids need a safe area where they can learn something about Islam, not in a formal lecture, not in a formal madrasa setting, but more in a rap session where they can play and they can do it, if you like, offline. That's what's required today, as far as I can work out. On top of all this, I asked them, how many of you read the Quran? Some of them will say every day. Some of them will say very rarely, or whatever. And then I say to them, how many of you can read it in a language which you understand? And most of them don't even have a Quran in a language which they can understand. I'm giving them to them. Why is this? Why is this? What are the parents doing? Now you see the little story that my brother told right at the beginning when I asked people about information on Islam. We can't tell you, you have to find out for yourself. They can't even tell their own kids. They used to qualify it by, if we tell you wrong, we'll be held accountable on the Day of Judgment. But I had to go 12 miles to a mosque or to find a Muslim when I came to Islam. And under those circumstances, I only knew the Muslims in the mosque. Put that another way, I didn't know Muslims didn't go to the mosque. I assumed because I met Muslims in the mosque that all the Muslims went to the mosque. How naive I was. Okay? So I think one of the things that we have to do is we have to look at the Quran, which is Surah 49, Ayah 14, where the desert Bedouin say, we believe, and they're told, desist. Rather say, you have submitted, for not yet has faith entered your heart. Where do we stand today? Has faith entered our hearts? Do we have a sincere intention in our minds, in our hearts? As the Prophet ﷺ said, my living and my dying are solely for the Lord of the worlds. And a little bit more than that as well. Okay? Where do we stand today? Where is the sincerity in our actions? Where is the ikhlas? When will it come? And how can we teach this to people? Because these are the problems that we face. Okay? Now that's basically the introduction. I'll go through some of this stuff fairly fast. Some of it I may not even talk on, and some of it I might add which is not on the screens, and you may not be able to read everything that's on the screen. So forgive me for some of this, okay? But the time before Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the true concept of God was lost. There was ignorance and darkness, barbarianism and ruthlessness, sexual slavery, nudity and persecution, usury and exploitation, fear and terror, class and colour discrimination. After Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the true concept of God was restored. Knowledge and light, kindness and mercy, women's status and rights, justice and fairness, peace and security, love and brotherhood. Now, what do we mean by brotherhood today? We talk about the brotherhood in Islam. After I had been a Muslim for 22 years, 18 of those, the last 18 of those I spent in Saudi Arabia, I got a letter from my eldest brother saying to me, we want nothing more to do with you, we've got nothing more in common, religion has taken over your life. Don't write, don't call, don't phone. I showed the letter to a Turkish brother who was working for me. He read it and he gave it back to me and he said, never mind, Dad, we're all your brothers. Now, what was your reaction when I started the story? Do you see us as brothers, or do you see us as individuals? Or do you see us as distinct communities? We have to rebuild the Ummah. I gave a talk, I forget where now, and I started off with a very elderly gentleman in the front row, and I said to them, you get a marriage proposal from a younger version of me for your daughter. What's your reaction? And I looked around the room and I watched faces and I saw people shifting a little uncomfortably. And then I said to them, if it's not positive, we stand no chance of rebuilding the Muslim Ummah. We cannot work together if we're going to see differences. I said I speak from the shoulder, okay? Now, where are we today? God and religion have been forgotten. What we need today is a spiritual explanation of the universe, where God created it and what it means, not Darwinism or whatever. We've got idol and human worship, wars, conflicts and killing, terror and fear, interest dealings, corruption and exploitation, marginalisation of the poor and have-nots, persecution of the women and the weak, nudity and obscenity, confusion and restlessness. We need Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the message he brought, the Quran, as much today as when it came to this earth.
Delivering based on knowledge and ability. Obviously, when we come to Dr. Munadhar just said one word during the break. He said the global program is doing fardul kifaya, which is what is right upon the whole ummah, obviously, and there should be someone who defends the honor of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Tell the world about it. But I think it's the duty of everyone, and if we fail all not to do it,